So we're live.
Are we live?
We are.
We are actually live. Hello. Welcome back
Yes.
to another episode here. Wiki Duo, Raina Tees.
Yes.
Hi, Miss Raina. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. It's been a good minute.
You know, we have some of our dedicated fans who think, we've been having trouble, honey. What do you say to that?
Girl, I thank you for being so concerned.
Yes.
We appreciate your concerns and your comments.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're good over here. We're good over here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Miss Raina has been traveling, honey, been seeing the sights, bitch.
You know,
while your girl over here has
been astral traveling, been going through several dimensions. We've been kicking with the spirits lately, okay? Ooh. We've been getting it in with the girls like we usually do.
Right.
For y'all hoes out there who got all that shit to say. Yes. We are always, bitch, booked and busy.
Thank you.
Did you not know?
Again, as always, Raina Tees is proudly and openly offering our services. We do spell work, readings, cord cutting, cleansings, slayages. Okay, one of our specialties, decapitation through the spirits.
Yes.
Okay? So contact us. That's right. And we'll be having 2 to 3 other commercials in the mix of this video, honey, to remind you.
Yes.
Bitch, contact Miss Raina Tees. So let's go ahead and get into our story time for today. We have a good video for you guys. And this was a joint spell done with me and my sister because we have plenty of seasons, bitch, to go back on.
We sure do.
And so today's video is working through the angels and reviving a pet through necromancy. Okay. So I know a lot of times on this video we talk about like working with the goetic spirits and a lot of more spirits that are seen as darker forces, but we also have our hand, bitch, we walk a middle path, girl. Leaning a little bit to the left, slightly. Leaning a little bit to the left, slightly. And we have definitely worked with angels. We have definitely worked with benevolent spirits for healing, okay, and for restoration. And that's also, I feel like when you are walking this path of magic, you can't lean too heavily on either side because you become stagnant, you become ignorant towards your other abilities and the capacity that you have.
Yes. Yes.
So to start this off, I had a pet a while back. And even when I first got this pet, you know, the animal did have like a series of health issues. Never did I think that it would get to as bad as where it had gotten to, which was the pet actually having seizures and losing just its whole cognitive ability to function as a independent being. You know, it needed help walking and eating and things like that. But that was like the worst of it. So obviously in this state, I was very hurt because I had grown really attached to the pet. And before a bitch, because I know it's going to be some hating asshole that's going to come on the video like, oh, somebody did work on the pet. No, because at that time, the pet was not even like put out there like that. You know what I'm saying? I live a very private life. So I really wasn't like only my close friends knew that I had this animal. And none of them hoes besides my sister, bitch, do magic. So It was none of that. But the pet had health issues. And I remember saying to myself, you know, that I was eventually going to have to let this pet go and put them down because they were suffering. But there was this powerful motivation that awoken within me, this maternal, and I learned a very maternal, selfless, I discovered a very maternal selfless aspect of myself through having this animal, because I care. It taught me to care and work for something other than myself, and I had to look after the pet. I had to make sure this and make sure that. So I learned a very nurturing part of myself that was innate within me, that was very much apparent in going through this episode. So eventually, yes, but I told myself, I said, before this pet goes to the great abyss, goes traveling and traversing through the expanse of the unknown, I wanted to have some anchor here in this life to remind it that it was loved, it was cherished, it was looked after, and, to just give it something, because it was literally, the pet, I don't even think they made it to 2 years old. I think they made it to a year old, and then it was like a bunch of problems and their health started to decline. So I said, I was like, it's a little too soon for you to go, honey. I'm like, I have to show you who your mommy is. Okay, I'm going to have to show you who mommy is before you leave, so you'll always remember. And I remember calling my sister. It was, and mind you, during this time, it was a very depressing, very sad time for me. I was very emotional about the animal and just watching its health decline. And like I said, it had gotten so bad that the pet it just had a lack of life, a lack of zest. It just would lay there. It wasn't really motivated to do anything. I had to take it to eat. I had to take it to use the bathroom. I had to take it, it was just basically like a caretaker for this decaying pet, this decaying entity, this being. So I called my sister and I was like, sis, bitch, I was like, I can't let her go just yet. Like, I need her to have a little bit more time, bitch. Death is at the door, bitch, but she will not cross through the threshold. That's what I told my sister, bitch. I was like, she will not, and we need to do something. So what did you think when I came to you about that whole thing? What was running through your mind when I told you about what was going on with the pet?
It was a gradual thing it was gradual and it wasn't, because I think it kind of just did kind of like happen all of a sudden, kind of in a way. I just felt like we had to get right to it. I don't want to like brag a little, I think I'm a problem solver. Like, I like to solve problems, and I like to, like, get in there and figure out what we can do, what angle we can attack this, because I felt like we definitely could save her. I had faith.
Yes.
In our abilities, and I knew with the passion that we had, especially, you were attached to the dog. We were all attached to her. So I felt like our desires, that was enough, and that is where the magic is at. I knew that we could heal her. And yeah, I'm remembering right now because I remember I had a dream with her.
I think you told me about that.
I had a dream with her. I think that, like, I was changing her diaper or something like that, and like if she had like some sort of diarrhea or something like that. I forgot. Yes, it was something like that. I forgot. Like, I think it was that or something else, but I think it was like something like that. But yeah, I was just ready. I was determined. I just felt like I need to get my healer hat on. Put the slayage hat to the side, put the healer hat on, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna tap into this energy. We're gonna tap into this healing energy, and we're gonna call these spirits. We were determined, and we tackled it in multiple angles. We were really scientific with it on a spiritual level. The things that we did. I don't know how deep you want to go into the actual ritual and what we did.
I want to tell them. I want to give them. Okay, so the plan was, now mind you, and I'll never forget, like, I can see it so vividly, the scene of us, how we had the ritual and the altar set up, and how, because she was a small dog, she was a little chihuahua, so she was able to go literally in the middle of the
portal.
The portal, bitch, okay? She was right there in the middle, and we channeled those spirits to get her ass. Now, mind you, okay, so the spirits that we work with, we called all the archangels. We called Michael, Raphael, we called Gabriel, and we called what's the
Uriel, not Uriel.
Uriel, yes, Uriel. And Uriel is earth and healing, you know. So we had their sigil, we had their angelic sigils, and we had white candles, we had sage, we had all sorts of things that sea salt, we had everything associated with cleansing in that ritual. And we basically opened the portal, and we, bitch,
and I also want to say that we drew the chakras out.
Yes, we did.
We drew the chakras out.
On the paper we had the different color associations and what we aligned when she laid down. Yes.
We see how we tackled that? We connected to the chakras of the pets, okay?
Yes. Yes. And we had the stones. We put the stones on her belly and stuff. That were associated with the chakra thing too, because I think it was you that picked up on that the animal had some constriction within their chakra portals. And it was blocking off their.
I think it was that dream that I had. You know, I was thinking maybe like in the lower chakras. I was picking up
the root, because I think you said she shit it or something.
I think and it was like dark. It looked kind of like black beans. It kind of looked like, you know, like if it was just kind of like that dark. And
so we had to get that out, bitch. We had to get that shit out of her. You know, whatever dark energy or spirit that had attached itself to her. Because again, you know, even though it didn't necessarily have to be anyone attacking her, it was at the time a lot of spirits that I was personally working with, and who knows, you know, who knows what could have attached itself to her. She was a very fragile and frail dog, you know, she was a little chihuahua. So it's like anything can attach itself to her. And so we did the ritual, we were in the mix of the ritual, we had like these white stick candles, okay? And we were calling, oh my God, we were calling the angels, and we were just praying out loud. We laid hands on her, bitch.
Yes.
We laid hands on her. And I remember how the white stick candles, through their melting, formed, okay, these beings in white robes with long white beards. They look like ascended masters. And they had their hands, they like, it was funny because we surrounded her with those white candles. You know, we had it in a circle around her, and at each angle, like, they were all pointing towards her, like their hands were out and they were facing her, giving her their healing ability. So I want you to go in about that ritual section too. What did you think and what did you experience during that time?
Well, I remember, we had a lot of candles lit. The room, it got hot. I'm remembering, did we burn that paper afterwards?
It was a sigil with, it wasn't the angel sigils that we burned. We had something else going on. Like it was a sigil for, was it an Abermelon Square?
I don't remember. But yeah, I definitely remember feeling the energy of the angels. We felt that healing energy come.
Yes.
It actually went through us. I remember getting that energy through me. I felt possessed. I felt like I had that energy on me. And just feeling that loving, healing energy.
Yes,
and putting it on the dog and just really feeling that healing energy. And just knowing, I remember just kind of like,
it was such a calm, it was such a peace.
And tender, calm and tender feeling, and just just empathy, just eternal empathy. I definitely felt cleansing her, like pushing it out of her, getting her, you know, when we got her in the portal, and she was so calm. She let us do everything.
I was just thinking that
she
too,
was
like
so
how
calm.
because
like,
she's usually excitable and kind of, you know,
she was ready. It's like she
was ready.
She knew that we were healing her. She was very open, very receptive to our energy. And we just knew. I was in full confidence the whole time.
Me too.
We were getting confirmation.
Emotional as fuck, but
yeah, we were getting confirmation left and right. It was a really good ritual. We did a lot of cleansing also. We cleansed the hell out of that room beforehand. We staged it the house. I think we staged the entire house.
Yes, we did.
We always did that. We staged the entire house and extra that day. Salt. We had the salt. Okay, we was not playing. But yeah, we definitely.
I remember. So to touch on that that feeling of being channeled through possession that you talked about, I remember definitely feeling that energy too, and it working through my hands. And I just remember also feeling like it was like a whole fucking team in the room. Honestly, I remember psychically perceiving just more than just like a whole host. And like I said, they manifest through the candles themselves, in their figurines and in their it was just men and angels in long white robes, and you know, the candle drippings. You could see the faces. You could see it was just too. It was too real. It was too fucking real. And so we did that ritual on her. She was extremely calm. She just laid there. She just like was there, just had eyes half lit. And I remember just telling her, as I was channeling this healing energy, you know, you have a little time left, that I want to make sure the time that you have is well spent, and that you know you have an anchor here in this world connected to me in my heart, and I will never forget you. You know, that's that healing, bitch. Okay, that's that healing, bitch. That's that light. Okay, that light work. Okay, so after the ritual, I would say maybe 2 to 3 days later, this dog was up and walking. This dog was up and eating on its own. She could poop on her own. But I will tell you a bit of the setback, okay? And what happened to her kind of reminds me a little bit of what happened to Amos Game of Thrones. I don't know how many people watch that. I don't really watch it like that, but I remember the first season or second season, something like that, where the blonde bitch, you know, she had her trade, which is that really famous actor. He's played. Yeah, Jason Momoa. She had her trade, honey. She had him. And at first, you know, she was like, she wasn't feeling him or whatever, but then she grew to love him. And he fell to illness. And basically, she went to a voodoo priest who, you know, did dark work on him and tried to bring him back, because he was like dying. Like he was like, he couldn't even move. And she, like, the magic worked, but he was kind of like a zombie. And I will say that was almost like the same thing that happened to the dog. Like she was back, but she was different. You know, I remember her personality before was very chippy. You know, Chihuahuas are very like everything, you know, barky, here, there, you know, very, very fast. She was a lot more calm. She was like a lot more like
a person. It was kind of.
She was a person. Oh my God. That dog thought she was a person. That dog never knew she was a dog. And it was funny because she never really had interact. She came from a small litter. I think of like 2. It was just her and another. Which that shouldn't have been a warning sign right there. But she never had interactions with other dogs. She did, But when she would have interaction with other dogs, she would look at them like they were aliens. Like, because, the dog would be sniffing her and kind of all up on her. And she would just be kind of like, what are you doing? What are you, what is this? She was so normalized to people because of constantly being weak. It was just, she was a single dog, So she was constantly around me, my partner, and bitch, my sister, and just friends. Like that was it. Like, she only had interaction with people. So she never barked. She never, ever, ever barked. She was very excitable. She was very jovial. She had a little personality before she got sick, but then when she was sick, it was like nothing. And then when she came back, she had this demeanor that was very like, okay, so tell them about the time that you sat with her, like you watched her over like a week or something.
Yeah.
After the spell had been done.
Yeah. It was. I remember that it was kind of like if she was like on me, kind of like licking me. Not like attracted to me, but it was kind of like a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of, she's like a 40-year-old woman. That's kind of like the energy that she had, like kind of like a middle-aged woman, more poised, but she still had in her energy, I feel, but yeah, she was calm. She was nothing like my dog. My dog is the complete opposite, just very extra and just hyper. But yeah, she was calm. I feel like when the spell started working and she was back, yeah, I feel like she was good. She was good.
I agree. I definitely agree. I feel like, now what did have to happen over time, because it's like magic is never permanent. Magic is a bridge. It is a gateway. It is a portal. It is a door opener. It can be the door or it can be the key, to many things. But like with all things, it must come to an end. And I think one of the biggest lessons that I learned from that episode is that, yeah, you can prolong things. And yes, I feel a sneeze coming. Oh, God. Bless me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yes, you can prolong things, and yes, you can, put a quick bandage on something, but all things have to go. All things have to go. All things will change. So it was also about coming to the terms of letting her go. And we eventually, me and my partner, we felt like, okay, like her quality of life was just not, like she could have still stayed, but it was just like her quality of life, being medicated, because she was on medicine at the time as well. And that kind of made her really sluggish, and it just wasn't really like the same dog or whatever. But it was like, it got to a point that was like, okay, like we feel that she had the full life. She knows we're her parents. She knows that she's loved, and now it's time to send her on. And just to go in about that little tea, honey, we'll add that little bit in. Bitch, let me tell you, Swamp Florida witch for real, because that day, I remember that day. My sister was with me. We were going to put the dog down. It was 2 days before your birthday, or the day before your birthday, or something like that.
It was, I think, after.
It wasn't after?
I think it was after.
Okay, yeah, maybe it was after
my birthday.
And I remember we had kind of joked about it. Okay, Miss Nathan of Death, very much associated with your sign. So we were just kind of like, okay, like, we're gonna put her down this day. I'll never forget just the.
See, now your phone is acting up. That's the dog's energy. She's coming through. Oh, look, see, your phone is acting up. That's her. She is coming through. She's here.
Wait.
Yes.
Let me turn on Miss Wi-Fi real quick and see. Is it getting better or no?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, yes, honey, my baby coming through, honey. She feels herself being called and talked about. But so that day we were gonna put her down. During the day, it was clear. Okay, it was very clear that earlier in the day. And I remember I went, I was very sad that day, bitch. I was crying. But it's like I have had so many tears, bitch, over the course of this whole process that I didn't really have tears anymore. But I was very sad. And my sister was there, and my partner was there, and the dog was there. And I was just like walking her around the house. And I would do this thing with her where I would take her in the mirror. And I would show her who she was. I was like, that is you, like that's you and this is me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and she understood. She definitely understood herself and she recognized herself as a conscious being. I feel like I wanted her to have that recognition and that understanding. So I was doing that. I was walking around the house and just showing her everything and just being with her very, very sentimentally. And I remember her energy was so like, very like on me, very cuddled, very resting her head on my bosom and this, that. And it was just, I remember my partner, he said to me, he was like, oh, like, what's on your mind? I was looking out the window. I was staring out the window and a rainbow actually had appeared that day too. A rainbow, bitch. Okay, so the spirits was ready to come get her. Like the spirits was like, okay, like we got you, girl. We know her, and we're gonna make sure she's well taken care of.
Right.
And so my partner says to me, he's like, well, what's on your mind? Like, what do you want? And I said, I want the heavens to share in my pain. Okay, bitch. When I tell you it rained like a motherfucker that day. Okay, and if you can go search on the weather,
yes.
The weather patterning for that day, it rained so motherfucking hard. It rained so hard that, it normally would take 45 minutes to take my sister home. Bitch, it took us like, an hour, almost 2 hours to take you home because like traffic was so backed up. It was so dark. You couldn't see anything before you on the road because the rain was just heavily pouring down. And it's a very native Floridian thing to be connected with the sky and the earth and the sea. So it's very natural that like sometimes if I'm not feeling my best, it'll rain. Not all the time, bitch. A bitch ain't, but we do have that connectivity to weather magic and very much the skies and the humidity in the air. Okay. So bitch, it rained like a motherfucker that day. So go ahead, Miss Raina. What did you think the time of, and what do you remember from the time of us taking her in her last final moments?
Well, it was very sad,
Your ass ain't even cried, bitch.
Oh, I was holding it in. That's why I wanted to kind of be like a strength,
Yes.
I wanted to give strength, so I held it in. But yeah, it was very sad, and I was feeling her energy, and I felt like she knew.
She did.
She did know. And I felt her energy. Like she was kind of like what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she was kind of like, in an alert type thing. And I felt like her heart racing, like she kind of like knew. Because it was taking a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm remembering, and it was like. Yeah, it was sad, and just the whole day, it was like, like her last meal and just kind of like, and it's like we all knew, and it just, yeah. And like you said, the day it was not cloudy like that, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just a regular day. And it was not even raining, I think, when we went inside of the doctor's office. I don't think.
It had rained before.
It was raining before? I mean,
And
because I
then
feel
when
like it
we
got so
got
much
there, that's
worse.
when the heavy shit. Like after she was gone, that's when like the
That's
heavy
what I'm saying.
shit
When we
started happening.
left, it was horrendous. But when we got there, I don't remember it being that bad. It was like afterwards. That was like really bad. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, it was a sign, you know. I felt like that rain was so bad. It was so bad. Very heavy, like just cats and dogs. It was literally raining cats and dogs. Okay. Very, very heavy. Um but yeah, we definitely felt her energy released, you know. She definitely made her presence known to you, you know, afterwards. Um I feel like she was given spiritual access. I feel like that ritual that we did, it kind of let the girls know, and on the other side, like, okay, you know, here is she, take care of her. They were preparing for her. And I feel like, you know,
the transfer was smooth. The
it
transfer
was.
for her was very smooth, and I'll never forget too when we were in the doctor's office. Like she looked over, she had saw someone there in the room, and she was like looking, and I was like, I was watching her in her last moments. I was like, I bet she sees something or sees someone, and even after her whole passing, there were months and months and months of her constantly, you know, things around the house, like, you know, food. She had this thing where she would be right at your feet. Like if you were eating something, she'd be right at your feet, and she would just be looking for you to drop something for her. So I'm not really a technically clumsy. I'm technically not really a clumsy person. But after she was gone, like I would be eating food, and it just so happened like a little piece of it or a little nibble would fall to the floor, and I would always think of her in that manner and how she would be so eager for something to fall so she could eat it up like a dog normally would. There was that, and I was having a lot of dreams with her too, seeing her in the afterlife. Feeling her presence at the foot of the bed, which she would like to sleep at, and things. It was just everything, and I feel like, you know, it kind of plays into that question of what happens after death, or do we remain after death? Is there still a part of us there after death? And I definitely believe that there is, because it was just such a connectivity that never was lost. Even in her passing, obviously I was very sad to lose her and not have her there, and it took a lot of getting used to, you know, her not being there, and even just thinking, we're talking about it now, it's been years since she's been gone, but even now I can still feel that pain of what it was like to lose her. But she also taught me a great deal about myself. Like I said, learning to care for another creature and have that empathy, and really, I had never really gone in so hard to heal anything before. You know, you do your cleansings for yourself and you work on yourself or whatever, but bitch, to like bring a bitch back from the brink of death, and never. So that was a notch under the belt for us, sis.
Yes.
That was a notch under the belt for us, bitch. Okay, so a bitch can't never come tell me, okay, that my healing, where the magic at?
Okay.
There, girl. How about that? You know? So that's really all I have to say about that story time.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it, you guys. So stay tuned for more.
We will catch you in the next one. Oh yes, honey. Raina T's open for spell work consultation. We will leave our email down in the description box below. We do cleansings, we do revivals, and bring you back from the brink of death.
Yes, we do.
Readings, okay.
Slayages,
Slayages, girl. Okay, whatever you need, hit us up, and we will catch you guys in the next one.